Hey guys, today's video is going to be a run through of all of the foundations that I currently have in my collection. I'm going to kind of list them from favorites to hate-its, and I have a good mix of formulas and drugstore and high-end, so if you're interested, then just keep watching. I'm going to list all the foundations that I'm going to talk about in order down below in the description bar, so if there's a certain one you're wanting to see, then maybe that'll help you kind of fast forward to the right spot of the video. To start with my favorite go-to foundation that I always end up falling back on, and I always keep a bottle in my collection. This is the IT Cosmetics CC Plus. I think it's the Your Skin But Better Color Correcting Full Coverage Cream. It has a SPF of 50, so for someone who's sensitive to SPF, this probably is not the best product for you. But as far as people who aren't, in the summer, this is a really great foundation, or just, you know, throughout the year, but especially in the summer, or if you're going to a theme park or anything like that where you know you're gonna be in a lot of sun, this is a great extra layer of SPF to be wearing. As far as the actual formula, this is not the most long-wearing foundation you're gonna wear because it is a CC cream. It's very hydrating and very moisturizing. So it's not gonna like really harshly set into your skin. It's going to go away at some point in the day. But it does last long enough for if you're just wearing it to work or something like that. It's not gonna like completely go off your face in just a couple of hours. It'll last for most of the day. So I have the shade Fair in the regular formula, and then the shade Light in the Illuminating. The light shade I haven't used in a while. It's the one that I use in the summer, so I'll probably start using this soon. Fair is the one that I use most of the year, and then sometimes I'll end up mixing them. For the Illuminating versus regular formula, I really think they're very similar. Illuminating is very little bit illuminating. It's not that big of a difference, especially because this one is already a bit of a dewy foundation until you set it down with a powder. So if you don't set it with a powder, it's going to be dewy. So if that's the look you're wanting, go for this one. This one does have a little bit of a radiance to it. It's not a shimmer, but it is like kind of like an extra glow. But I do think I prefer just the regular. Also, if you're looking at your shades, if you swatch, sometimes like the light in the regular versus the light in the Illuminating, there's some differences in the shades a little bit. So just see which one works better for your skin. I'll give you a swatch of each one just so you can see the coverage and the color difference between the two if you're interested. It also has a pump that's very important to me. It's such an easy product to use because of the pump. It's not messy, and it's easy to get out the right amount too. Usually like 2 pumps is enough for my whole face. Alright, so here is the Light, and here is the Fair. You can see the Fair has a good bit of a yellow tint to it, which is good for me because I am a fair person that has a decent amount of yellow in my skin tone. And as you work it out, it really does have a high amount of coverage to the foundation, and you can go in with multiple layers to really build it up. Alright, so for my next favorite foundation, it's kind of a tie. I think these formulas are really similar. Probably this one and then this one, but depending on your skin type, they're both very good. These are both in the shade 117. It used to also be called Y225, I believe, whenever they had the older version of the coloring. This is the Makeup Forever HD foundation in the stick formulation, and then in the liquid formulation. I had this one first, and I loved it, and I didn't think anything could beat it. And then I tried this one, and I think this one beats it. This is actually what I'm wearing on my face today. I did one layer of it, and then I just kind of touched up more in like my cheeks where it's a little bit more red with another layer. It's very high coverage. Both of them are pretty high coverage. They're not 100% full coverage like I think that Marc Jacobs foundation right now, and like I don't know if anyone ever wore that Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation. That one is like completely full coverage. This one is more medium to full. It is buildable. So I'll just kind of do a little bit of a swatch on how these go on. So this one you just kind of swipe where you want it, and you can see compared to like most stick foundations, I never thought I could wear a stick foundation because I thought they were too drying, but you can see this one is actually very dewy and very moisturizing, and it works really well with dry skin. If you're combination skin, I'm not really sure. I think you might want to try out the liquid formulation because I think it's a little less dewy. Alright, so this is the liquid, and I'm just gonna work it in. You can see the liquid almost looks a little bit lighter than the stick formulation, even though it is the same shade. Alright, so you can kind of see how it covers over the blue veining on my hands. And again, it does kind of have that like semi-matte, not dewy, but kind of a semi-matte finish. Next up is a newer foundation that I've been trying. This is the FIONA Styles Matte Finish Foundation. If you are interested in seeing my full review video where I applied it and did check-ins throughout the day of how it wore, I'll link that down below and also put it up in the cards. So this is a pump as well as, I think all of them except for the stick have been a pump foundation. They're obviously my favorite. This has a very nice matte finish, which usually isn't something that I wear. Although I do really like it for this one. You can see this one's a little bit darker than the others, but this shade is 03. It has a very nice neutral tone to it. The two shades lighter, where one was very pink and one was very yellow, so I've just been kind of making the darker one work for my skin. And this has a very good coverage. It's very, very buildable, as you can see in that video if you watch it. And it just has a nice matte finish and it lasts all day on your skin. I'm very interested in trying the luminous version because I think that'll work better with my skin type, and hopefully it'll have the same amount of longevity on the skin. Alright, my next favorite is also by Makeup Forever, and these really aren't in a like 1, 2, 3, 4 order. This is just kind of like my top ones versus my mediocre versus the ones that I don't really like that much. This is the Makeup Forever Face and Body. I just shook it up, but I'm really actually about halfway through both of these. This one's in the shade 38. I want to say this one's in the shade like 40 or 42, something like that. This one, these are the ones right in a row of each other. There's some lighter than this, but they're really pink. This one is very pink. I can't wear it very much. The only way I can wear these is to mix them, and this is an expensive foundation, so that is kind of annoying. This one I can kind of make work in the summer, but as you can see now, it is way, way too dark for me. This one is the right lightness, but it has so much pink in it that it kind of makes me look orange just because the tone is off. So yeah, if I mix these together, I can kind of get a look with it. I wore these yesterday actually together. Like I said, I wish they would expand their color selection because usually Makeup Forever does a very good job with having lots of different colors and undertones, but for some reason in this formulation, they just don't. Or at least not for the fair people. So here is a swatch of, this is number 38. And you're gonna be able to tell by the consistency of this, it's very kind of watery. And that's kind of the point of this. It's water-based. And it's one of those, it's supposed to be that when it's on and it dries and sets, it's waterproof. I'm not so sure about that. I haven't ever actually tested if it's a waterproof, but it is long wearing. It's a very sheer formula. You can build it up, but it gives the skin just a really nice evenness. And when you go back through with some concealer, it's just a flawless finish. I really do enjoy this, and it's a very natural looking foundation. Right, now for the darker shade, I'm gonna write down which one it is down below. Like I said, I think it's something like 40 or 42, but I'm not 100%. I pumped out a little more just so you can see how runny and liquidy this is. But you can see how dark this one is. And also with these foundations, you're supposed to be able to use it on your body as well as your face. That's why it's called the Face and Body formulation. The only con to these is you can kind of see there's some like chunks in here. For some reason, the way it kind of dries down into the pump, it'll kind of get clogged and get those, but they're easy to get out. So yeah, here is the darker foundation. All right, now for a favorite that is from the drugstore. I have a few. This is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation. This is the cushion. This is very popular. I'm sure you've heard and seen lots of reviews on YouTube about it. You open it up, there's a little sponge, and that's how I like to apply it. I wonder if there is a way to get new sponges, because that's my favorite way, and it's starting to get a little unhygienic. But you just kind of dip it down into it, right? And then you just kind of stipple it onto your face, and you can layer it up. But this is just a really nice kind of everyday glowy foundation. You can see this one's still a little bit dark for me, but it does sheer out, so I've been able to wear it. This is in the shade W2 for anyone curious, and it is one of the only light shades that they have. Another one of my favorite foundations from the drugstore, it's kind of a weird one. This is the Infallible Pro Matte by L'Oreal. I can't wear this one actually. I have swatches of each one. This is 101, 102, and 104. The 101 and 102 are a little too pink for me, and the 102 is usually a little bit dark, except for sometimes I can wear it in the summer. 104 I have for when I do other people's makeup. Sometimes I do like my cousins and sisters and friends makeups before like dances or photo shoots and stuff like that. So I just kind of keep those around for using on other people. But here is 101, 102, and 104, and you can kind of see it has a really nice coverage to it. But you can see how pinky the 101 and 102 are compared to 104. My next favorite is NARS Sheer Glow. This one is in the shade Gobi Light 3. This I love because it's pale and it's yellow, but it's not overwhelmingly yellow either. I can still wear it. It's a little bit on the pale side for me right now just because I just did self tan. This is a fairly full coverage. It's probably medium to full coverage foundation. It has a nice, it's not a glow. It's kind of like the last foundation. It's more of a demi matte once it dries down. It is not super dewy or glowy, even though the name is Sheer Glow. I did not like this when I first got it. I almost got rid of it actually after I used it for a couple months, but it's been about, I think this lasts for 2 years. Let me see. Yeah, it lasts for 2 years. It's been about a year since I bought it, and just in the last couple of months I've been loving it. So if you've bought it and not liked it, it may be that it just, I don't know if the formula just does better after it's sat for a little while. I really don't know, but I do enjoy this. The only thing I hate about this foundation, like everybody else, it did not come with a pump. I had to buy the pump, and now that the pump is on it, there is no lid. So I can't travel with this because it'll end up pumping out in my makeup bag. For a couple kind of mediocre foundations, L'Oreal Lumi True Match is not one of my favorite. I like it. I don't love it. I've bought it before. I've bought it again. I actually got rid of my older one and then repurchased it again because I was like, oh, I do like that one. I appreciate that it's in a pump. Not many drugstore ones are. I don't know. There's just something about this formula that isn't the best for me. The colors, again, aren't the easiest for me to find a match to. This one's a pretty good match for me. It's still got a lot of pink to it. It's a very peach looking foundation actually, and so it makes me look very orange when I wear it. And I've tried the cool 1 through 2 as well. The warm works a little bit better for me than the cool one does. And then the neutral I don't think has a 1 or 2. I think it goes straight to 3, which is too dark for me. So yeah, it's okay. I know a lot of people think this is like it's their favorite foundation of all. For me, it just isn't. Another foundation that people just rave about is the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. I don't like this. I liked it when I first got it, but let me show you what kind of happened to mine. I never left the cap off. I kept it sealed, but after a couple of months, mine turned out looking like this, and it's not droppable anymore. If you try to drop it, it like plops stuff out, and it's very thick, and it's hard to mix with anything. The color was really good when I first got it because it was more in the summertime when I first bought this. And I like the way it worked, but it's so thick now I can't use it because it plops so much out at a time. And it's hard, and I can't get it all out of the bottle anymore. I'm probably gonna get rid of this foundation soon. I wonder if I just got a dud. Like, I don't know if anyone else has had this issue. Put it in the comments below, because everyone else I hear just raves about it, and every time they use it, it's like all liquidy, and mine just wasn't liquidy after a little while. Alright, now for a foundation. I know this one's good. I just can't really use it like most people can. This is the IT Cosmetics. This one is the Celebration Foundation. This is the Celebration Foundation Illumination. This one I have hit pan on actually. It is very good for setting makeup, especially the CC cream that they showed earlier in the video. It's really good for setting it, and because it gives you that little extra coverage. And it's for being a foundation, it's really not cakey to layer up with other things. And then so that was the illuminating. This is the matte. They're the same color. The illuminating just kind of has a little bit more of a glow to it, which is going to be kind of hard to tell from this. I know people who love powder foundations will wear this by itself. I've tried wearing it by itself a couple times, but I mostly like it to layer up with lighter coverage foundations. If you're still with me, I only have 4 foundations left. I'll go through these pretty quick because most of them are mediocre and not loving them. This is the Smashbox Camera Ready BB Water. I was hoping this was going to be a lot like my Makeup Forever Face and Body, but it just didn't do that well. You shake it, open it, and it has a dropper to it. And it's just like very liquidy. I like it. I don't love it. Like I said, it doesn't build up or give you enough coverage like the Face and Body one did for me. The color is also a little off right now because I did wear this back in the summer. A little bit lately, it's the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Anti-Aging Perfector with SPF of 20. This I like for if I'm just wanting to kind of like run to Target and not have anything really on my face, just like a little bit of coverage. This is the shade Fair to Ivory, or Ivory to Fair 10. This is the lightest shade they have. You could see when I pumped it out, it's very dark, but when you work it into your skin, it shears out. It has it kind of looks like it has a lot of coverage just because I've had so many foundations on my hand, and they haven't all come off completely, but it has a very sheer amount of coverage. The only way I really like that foundation is if I put it on with just like some mascara and brow gel, and a little bit of lip gloss just for kind of running errands. Another one that is okay but not my favorite is the Healthy Mix Bourjois foundation. I know a lot of people love this and rave about it. For me, it just wasn't that wow of a foundation. I had a lot of other ones that I just preferred over it. It's not that this one is bad. It just wasn't my favorite foundation that I've ever worn. And the way it kind of sat on my skin wasn't the best. It kind of did cling to some dry patches on me, which I was surprised about because it is a luminous kind of dewy foundation. And for the bottom of the heap that I'm definitely throwing away as soon as this video is over, this is the Revlon Photo Ready Instafix. This is a stick foundation, and I'm going to compare it to the Makeup Forever just so you can kind of see the difference between the two. This one is thick and it's chalky and it's hard to blend out. So you can probably see that the Makeup Forever, which is this one, has a nice gleam to it. This one does not. This one, when you try to blend it out, it really doesn't blend out that great. This one blends out perfectly when you try to blend it out. This one sinks in your skin, this one just sits on your skin, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it other than it's just not very good. Like, it just clings to everything. It's hard to blend, and it's just kind of patchy looking as well when you try to blend it out. Well, that is all of my foundations. I know this video is pretty long and it can kind of get a little boring and confusing because all the words are kind of the same for all the foundations. But if you're wondering like if you're looking for a high-end, which one I would definitely suggest the stick or the liquid foundation of the Makeup Forever HD. This one, if you have all types of skin types, any kind of skin type. This one for normal, probably to dry. I don't know about oily for this one. And if you're not looking for a very high coverage, long lasting, go for this one. It's really the best CC BB cream you're ever gonna try. It's amazing. Everyone that I've told about it is hooked to it, and it's popular for a reason. And as far as the drugstore foundations, if you can find a shade that works for you in the Infallible, and you like that more matte finish, go for that one. If you like the more dewy, try out the Lumi Cushion because it really is a good foundation. It is a little lighter, just be aware of that, it is a little bit lighter. So that is all of my foundations. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you. If you enjoyed the video, then please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos from me, then just subscribe. Thanks.